Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyle Mao. I am an entrepreneur based out in Eastern Europe, and I am the founder and owner here at HireUA, a recruiting company that puts premium talent into your business and will save you a boatload of money in the process. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what an executive assistant can potentially do for you and how you can potentially make use of one. So the first question everyone's always going to ask is, when should I hire someone like that? And the answer is going to vary a little bit, obviously from business to business and person to person, but I think around the $25,000 a month mark, at that point, you can be outsourcing to a high-level executive assistant, anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 a month, of course, varying on the experience you need this person to have, and the industry that you're in. It could, impact the final salary. But at that point, you obviously still have quite a bit of margin left over. The more stuff in your life overall that you can outsource in regards to both your personal life as well as your business life, the more time you're then going to have to work on your business instead of working in your business. You can focus on the higher leverage, higher ROI tasks that will ultimately grow the business instead of maintaining it. It's very important that you get to that level so that your business grows. So you're not just doing a day-to-day thing. You're not just trying to get by. At that point, it becomes a job, and that's not what you want. You want to have a team, you want to have systems, you want to have an operation that runs without you so that you can take a vacation, so that it grows while you're sleeping, so that you make money while you're sleeping. That's the whole point of building a business. It's not so that you have to wake up and do the same thing every day and you're beholden to the business. At that point, again, you might as well just get a job without all the responsibility that having a business entails. So you might be saying, what can you delegate to a high-level executive assistant? The first thing that comes to mind is that if you have travel in your business or your personal life and you need those kind of details taken care of, that is a huge time suck. One of the things that I always say you should consider outsourcing is travel and logistics. And if you think about it, it's human nature, right? Everybody wants to get the best deal possible. They all want to get the best flight, the most convenient, the best class, whatever it's going to be. But it's a huge time suck to be looking at all these different flights and comparing them and hotels. And then of course, if you need any details or any logistics planned wherever you're actually going, then that has to be accounted for as well. So a good executive assistant will start to tailor, they'll start to know your taste, right? So when I first hired Victoria, and I would ask her to say, hey, I'm meeting a client, I need you to find me a restaurant in this area. And she'd send me some and I'd say, no, that's not really my thing. Now it's very straightforward. She knows kind of what my taste is, what I like. It'll be the same thing. So typically starting out, when you hire someone, you'll get someone who will give you options like, hey, here's option 1, 2, or 3 for your flight or your hotel, whatever it's going to be. And then over time, they might just give you 2. And then eventually they get to the point where they know you, they know your taste. It starts to be that they know what to book. They know exactly what you're going to say already. And that is a good executive assistant, able to take all of that logistics, all that planning, all of that stuff off of your plate so that you can again focus on the bigger stuff in your business and in your life, because there is stuff that's way more important than comparing flights. Plain and simple. Number 2, general upkeep and scheduling. Having someone who consistently makes sure that your haircut is on the calendar, who orders your groceries, who, orders office supplies when you're running low, whatever it might be. Someone who handles all the day-to-day stuff or all the weekly stuff or monthly appointments. That way you no longer have to think, I got to call my barber and make an appointment. I have to check my calendar with his availability to see what time it's going to be, whatever. No, instead now you've got someone who knows that you're supposed to get your haircut every 3 to 4 weeks, whatever it is, who just takes care of it, who has access to your calendar, calls your barber up or goes to their online booking form and just puts it on your calendar, plain and simple. Don't even have to think about it. Instead, you wake up that morning, you see that it's there on your calendar, and you go to the barber appointment. You might think that this sounds silly, right? You might say it's really not that much work, Kyle, to, book my own barber appointment. But when you start adding all these things up, it's not just the haircut, it's everything in life. When you start adding all these little things up, that is significant time, that's significant energy that's going out the window towards maintenance tasks. Like, getting your haircut, ordering your groceries, that's maintenance. That is something you just have to do in order to survive in life and function in life. So if you're able to start taking some of that brain power that you're spending, no matter how little you think it is, it's something that's there. It's something that has to be thought about. It's something that has to be remembered. The more of that you can say, it's not mine anymore, the more time you have. And you might say it's not a big deal, but guess what? That's more free personal time then. So even if you don't want to put that time and energy back into your business, that's time that you then can put into an activity you like doing, a hobby, a sport, whatever it is, which means that again, you'll feel better, you'll have more energy, you'll be more present. And that's important. The third thing that an executive assistant can really help you out with is business monitoring. Let's say you're running an agency, or you're running an e-commerce store, or you're running any business. Not everything is worthy of your attention. Sometimes stuff comes up, but it's like a little annoying fly that it's flying around, it comes in, it gets you, and it just needs to be swatted with a fly swatter as opposed to you getting out the bulldozer. I don't know, that's probably not the best analogy, but I think you understand what I'm getting with that. If you have a good executive assistant, not only can they help you with that personal aspect of your life and some of those logistical things, but they can kind of be the overall supervisor and monitor of your business. So instead of you having to read all your emails and read all your channels, or read all your different messages and communications, and God knows in 2023 we have enough things we have to keep track of. Everyone's got a million different apps they use to communicate, obviously hundreds of messages, thousands of notifications a day. If you have someone who filters all of that and says, this is the most important thing, you need to do this right now, that is again a lot of time and energy and bandwidth that is saved. Attention spans they're not getting any better these days, I'll put it that way. So I'm sure everyone struggled with this at one point or another. You're always glued to your phone, you always just got something you have to handle. If you've got a way to start cutting down on the noise, it will allow you to focus more on higher leverage activities, which will again ultimately grow the business instead of simply maintain the business. Number 4 of useful things an executive assistant can do, they can be good for a sounding board. Just being able to bounce business ideas off of. If you get someone who's experienced, more than likely they've worked for somebody who's probably maybe further ahead of you in life. Assuming you're not hiring someone fresh out of college, you're not hiring someone who hasn't held a position like this before, it's very possible that they've worked in a business that is making more revenue than yours, or is at a higher level, or maybe they've worked for somebody more experienced. And that's not a knock on you, obviously, but there's a decent chance if they're experienced, they're gonna have some really good ideas, some really good ways. They've seen things before in a business, they've seen where things get roadblocked, they've seen how to manage people, how to deal with struggles, how to deal with other issues. So in conclusion, again, it's very likely an executive assistant that has experience could be a really good sounding board for you, even if it's just bouncing basic ideas and principles off of. They will likely have some feedback that will be helpful for you. Number 5, one of the things that you can give an executive assistant is you get someone who you can trust to just handle it. If you have someone high level, sometimes you just need someone that when you're out of office, you're on vacation, or you want to be able to take a vacation, you just need someone who you can trust to handle everything, where you can pass something off with relatively minimal amounts of instruction and just say, I need you to just figure this out. And that's what business is, right? That a business is a whole hell of a lot of just figuring things out. Everyone likes to think, people who work 9-to-5 jobs look at business owners and think that we're all just like Superman. We just, holy cow, they do all this stuff. That's not usually the case. Usually, entrepreneurship is a lot of just flying by the seat of your pants and just figuring stuff out as you go along. And a lot of it is just trial by fire. So having someone who's like an extension of you, who you can trust to just figure things out with minimal instruction without needing to make them a Loom video or do all this other stuff. You just say, hey, I need you to handle this, and they can just do it. It makes things so much easier in your business. Like, just trust me on this. It makes things so much easier when you have that person who is kind of an extension of you. Just figure it out. Like, I'm always really mindful of saying this, right? Because if you have like a lower level person and you say, oh, you just got to figure this out, and you don't have proper instructions, you don't have proper documentation, you don't have standard SOPs in your business, that's hard for them. And that's not necessarily fair. And more than likely, you're going to be churning some employees if that's the case. That said, part of the job of the executive assistant is just figure it out sometimes. Again, an extension of you figure stuff out, they have to kind of do the same. Sometimes that's just what they have to do. It's part of the job sometimes. And sometimes they can't do it, and that's okay too. Like, don't obviously punish those kind of situations. Everyone's going to make mistakes. There's always going to be stuff that people can't figure out, but the right person will figure a lot of it out, and they will make things a lot easier. So in summary, you should consider hiring an executive assistant once you've passed that 25 grand a month, because when you do it overseas, you're still going to be making 80-90% profit margin, generally speaking, on your 25 grand. You can hire someone for 2 to 4, still going to have a very healthy margin. You can have them book travel and handle all the logistics, because that is not a high leverage task. You can have them handle recurring scheduling and tasks like haircuts, appointments, doctors, whatever else it might be, groceries. You can have them be a supervisor in your business where they pass only the most important stuff and otherwise trust the team to handle the rest. You can bounce bounce ideas off of them. More than likely they have some good business experience. And finally, they are the person who can just figure things out, which is really important as a business owner when you can trust someone and delegate something with minimal instruction and minimal clarity, because sometimes as the business owner, you just have to figure it out. And it's helpful to have someone else in the business who's also able to do those things. If this sounds appealing to you, if this all sounded good and you're saying, I need somebody like that, then go to HireUA.com. We will find you a high-level executive assistant in just 5 days. And I promise you will be paying a whole heck of a lot less than you would in the United States. And you'll get somebody into your business who is ready to step up to the plate and knock it out of the park for you. So in any case, again, hire-ua.com. My name is Kyle. Make sure that you like this video and you subscribe to the channel for more tips on hiring operations and scaling your business. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.